Morning campers, hope you're okay on this cold and wet Sunday morning. I thought I'd just do a little video today because we're off to go and have a look at a car, and not just any car either. We're off to go and see a Alfa GT, which, as some of you might know if you follow me on Twitter, I have a bit of a penchant for. Not just a GT. I like all the Alfa Romeos, but it's just something about the GT that I really like. So we're off to go and have a look at it. It's in Bristol, so it's about a half hour, 40-minute drive. So it's a bit of a trek, but I wanted to bring you along this journey to see what happens. First stop though is I need to go get the car cleaned, because I don't like turning up anywhere, well, at least if I'm going to view a car anyway, with a filthy car, because Sitch and Sands here there. Anyway, I don't like turning up, I mean, this is a garage to be fair, but if it was somebody's house, I like to at least have a clean car. I think they don't want to be prejudged even before I get out the door from see a filthy car. So anyway, I'm going to get the car cleaned. So we're off to do that, and I will join you back in a minute. Cheers.
A few moments later.
Well, of course the car wash is shut, why wouldn't it be? So anyway, we're going to prevail. We'll just get there and have a look at it. I might just maybe hide my car around the corner, because I'm not sure if I want to trade Sharon in, which is my focus. I know that freaks out a lot of people that I call the car a name, but I think the car is part of you, and that's why I've named her. So yeah, she's Sharon. So yeah, anyway, I'm not sure if I want to trade in Sharon or just keep her. Obviously when I do my £1,000 car roulette on Saturday nights, I do see a lot of Focuses, so I know where the values are. This particular one has had, I'm only the second owner. She might be coming up to 18 years old, but she's only done 64,000 miles with mainly a Ford full service history. So she has been well looked after, and everything works. The aircon works, heated rear screen works, so she's got a lot going for her. I think if I were to sell it privately, I'll probably be asking, I don't know, I think sort of 900 to maybe £1,000 is quite fair. The bodywork needs a little bit of attention, and there is a bit of clutch judder when going into reverse, but there's so many sort of Mr. Clutches around and so on. You could probably get a clutch put in this for sort of 300 quid, and being that the rest of it is absolutely fine, certainly mechanically fine with the engine, I'm still thinking you're getting a really good car. So if I trade it in, I'd hope to maybe get 500-600 quid, something like that. I mean, I'm no expert on these things. I'm sure people are shouting at the screen going, no, it's not worth that, or it's worth more. But I think a fair price, trading price would be sort of, like I said, £500 to £600. I've had her now for about 3 or 4 years, I want to say. About maybe 3 years. I'm trying to think how many MOTs I've had to put on it since I've had it. So I think, yeah, definitely 3. And I paid like 400 quid, and it's been absolutely brilliant. I've not really had to spend much money on it. A couple of anti-roll bar links for the MOTs, but that's about it really. So I might just keep her and use her as me daily, and just maybe keep the GT for the weekends, because sometimes it's handy just to have a little throwaway car, really, just to stick stuff in the boot, stick stuff in the back, and I don't want to do that with the Alfa. I want to try and keep that nice and up together. So obviously there's always cost to bear in mind, you know, then having to insure 2 cars, tax 2 cars, you know, the cost of running 2 cars of fuel and stuff like that. But we'll have to see. I'm not sure if it's going to pay to get rid of her. Although having said that, I don't know where I'd put her really. I haven't really got much space at the house. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, back to the GT. So this particular one, it's a GT 1.8 twin spark, and it's the Cloverleaf. Sorry about that, the phone decided it didn't want to be on the windscreen anymore. It's the 1.8 Cloverleaf twin spark, in that lovely blue colour they do, and I'll be honest, I don't know what they call that blue colour, but it's nice. You know, I always said going back along I wanted a red one. It has to be red, you know, a proper Alfa owner, you know, be red. But then this blue one came along, and I've seen quite a few in this colour, and it really does set it off really nicely, especially with the Cloverleaf when it's got the bigger wheels on it. So I'm going to go and have a look at it, and this will be only the second Alfa GT, or Alfa really, that I've actually looked around properly. The last one was about 5 years ago. That was a GT. I don't think it was a Cloverleaf. I think it was just a really basic one, but it was red, so it did look nice. We've got a Alfa Specialist near to where I live, in Yeovil, and the name escapes me. But I'll put it up on the screen so you can have a look at it. So yeah, I didn't get to drive that one, but I did sit in it, and I think it was then I really felt, you know, that I really wanted a GT. It was just, I was just sat in something special really. So anyway, we're going to have a look at this one. It's got a good MOT history. It's had, I think, 3 owners or 5, I don't, something like that. I can't remember now. However, the biggest elephant in the room is the mileage. So it's an 08 plate, so you know it's fairly old. However, it's done about 160,000 miles, and that's a lot of mileage in any car, let alone in a Alfa Romeo petrol as well. I mean, but I'm hoping that at that kind of mileage everything has been replaced by then. You know, everything that could have gone wrong in its lifetime up till this point has been changed. I think there's evidence on the MOT history that the anti-roll bar bushes have been changed, which I know is a bit of an issue with those, so hopefully they're okay. But I can't remember when that was, but I think that was done a couple of years ago. And it looks tidy on the outside. I think, you know, given that mileage, which someone on Twitter kindly pointed out only averages about 13,000 miles a year, which is, you know, that's not bad going, is it really? Just obviously seems a lot when you look at all those numbers. But the fact it's got to that many miles and it's still going, and it still looks like tight as a drum, you know, must say something about its previous owners, that they have looked after it. And I think a lot of that mileage is obviously up and down the motorway, I'm guessing, you know. So I've got to check things like clutch. I've got to check things like, you know, when the cam belts have been done, because yeah, someone else pointed out to me that they're due every 4 years really. So I'm not sure what the mileage things are, but they're certainly every 4 years, so I need to just check that out. But it's a cheap Alfa, you know, it is cheap. Some of you know how much it is. It's £2,000 basically. So it is a cheap car. So is it worth the gamble? I don't know. When I get there, we'll have a look around. I'll try and get some sneaky video footage if I can, and maybe a sneaky photo, although I know some of you have already seen it on the Twitter if you follow me at Sparky Holloway. So yeah, we'll have a look. But I've just pulled outside my mate's house. He's coming with me because I hate doing these things alone, because I get all weird and I say the wrong things and stuff like that. So he's coming to give me a bit of support. So yeah, once we get there, I'll come back to you. See you in a bit.
One hour later.
Right, so we're on our way back from viewing the Alfa. First impressions, I absolutely loved it. It looked fantastic, especially in that blue. Obviously there was a few bodywork related issues, a few little dents here and there, but again that's to be expected, and I could sort that out. You know, I can sort the bodywork out. It's more important that mechanically it's okay. So yeah, first impressions, really liked it. You know, it was good to get up close to a GT again. So yeah, the heart was definitely pounding away. Looked through the service history, and to be fair, that was brilliant. It had a cam belt last year, had a clutch about 60,000 miles ago, and it was about 100,000 miles when it was done, so you know that was okay. Look round it, they did a weird thing, which apparently is quite common on those, where I think there was an issue with the ignition barrel, so they'd installed like a push button one. So that was a bit weird. I haven't seen that before, but apparently that's quite a thing on those. That didn't really faze me too much, you know. It was sort of quite nifty, I guess. But yeah, so certainly from the outside it looked all right. Inside there was not much wear to the seat bolsters. That was good. A few of the little buttons on the steering wheel, you know, they started to sort of peel off, but again, you know, that's to be expected really on that sort of age. Everything seemed to work. The aircon worked, heater worked, the windows worked. So yeah, to be fair, you know, it's obviously, like I said, been looked after for sort of most, if not all of its life really. He let us take it out. I wasn't sure whether he was going to come with us or not, which I would have understood if he would have done that, but I feel a bit awkward when they're in the car when you're driving. But he let us both go out, and you know, we gave it a good run. There was quite a distinct knocking coming from the passenger side at the front. You know, it had various rattles and creaks, and you know, I could put up with that. You know, it is an Alfa at the end of the day, but that knock was quite pronounced. We had a quick look at the suspension. We pulled into a local car park, and there's I think a ball joint at the top of the struts where the bearing is, I guess, and we think that might need to be done. So I'm not sure what sort of job that, you know, what's involved in doing that, but yeah, that was definitely a bit worrying when we heard that. Various creaks and knocks from the back, again, which probably would need investigating, but you know, I don't want to pull it apart too much. You know, it is a cheap car and it has done a lot of miles. I didn't expect it to drive like it just come out the showroom, and it was the first one I've driven, so I can't really compare it to another one. The only thing that was a bit of an issue for me was that, and I don't know whether it's where the gear cables were probably stretched, but the gear change, trying to get into first gear was really hard. I kept going into third. So I was at traffic lights and I kept stalling, and you know, it was a bit worrying. But like I said, I know the clutch is okay because that's been done. So whether it's just the cables and whether they just need to be changed, I don't know what sort of job it is to do those. But apart from that, it just felt really nice. You know, the driving position was really nice. Had the lever, so I just felt sort of cocooned in the seat. The driving position was really nice. I was worried that because I'm quite short I wouldn't be able to see over the steering wheel, but that was okay. It was everything that I thought I would feel when I drove an Alfa. You know, for the first time, it just felt really good. There was just a couple of little niggly things that I'm just not sure if it's going to, you know, if it's going to be worth just to, you know, buy it and get that work done. I mean, nothing that needs to be done straight away. To be fair, when I went back to the garage and I said about the knocking noise, he did say that, you know, as part of their prep, they will give it a full MOT and a service. So, and he did say to me, we'll have a look at the knock and take care of that for me. So, you know, he's obviously quite a decent bloke. I didn't push my luck trying to get the gear cables changed because, you know, it is a cheap car, and you know, he's not going to put the car, you know, he's not going to replace everything on the car, you know, for that sort of money, you know. So we'll have to wait and see, but it's definitely a positive experience. I definitely really enjoyed it. I'm glad I came out today. You know, the weather stayed nice. And the traffic was all right. It wasn't too bad getting up here. I've just got to give it some thought now. You know, maybe I need to drive a few more GTs to see what they're really like, as to whether they all suffer with that issue with the gear change. But you know, perhaps it wasn't the fact that I'd done nearly 200,000 miles. It was just the fact that it's an Alfa thing and it's something I need to get used to. But definitely food for thought. Definitely cemented the decision that I want to get a GT next, and definitely in that colour. I have to say that colour was absolutely superb. Dare I say, probably better than the red. And I really like the sound of the engine as well. It did sound quite, well, it sounded like it had like a turbocharger on it. It was sort of a bit of a sort of nice whine to it, but I hope that wasn't just the gearbox though. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'll keep you guys posted, and we'll see how we go. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch up with you soon again here on Content Cars. Cheers.